Hello YouTube, and today we will be deriving a quadratic equation, or the quadratic formula as you might know it. So the first thing first, you want to start with the idea of the standard form of a quadratic equation, which says that ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And then you'll try to prove that x from that standard form of the quadratic equation is equal to plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So first thing first, what we want to do is that we want to rewrite the standard form of the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And then you're going to factor out an a from the first part of the equation where the x terms are. So we're going to put parentheses around the first two terms, which are these two right here. Then ax squared plus bx, and then the plus c is equal to 0. Then now you're going to factor out an a from the parenthesis. So you're going to have a x squared plus bx over a plus c is equal to 0. So from here, what you want to do is that you want to half the coefficient of x. You want to half it and then square it and add it to the parentheses. So doing that, you'll have a times the parentheses x squared plus b x over 2 over a, I should say, plus halving it, you'll get half b over a, and all of that, you're going to square it. Put another parentheses there. So since you basically added a half b over a squared to the equation, then you have to subtract it away from the equation as well. The way that you subtract it is that you have my plus c, and then you're going to subtract half b over a all squared. So from doing that, we also have to multiply this here. We have to multiply that by an extra a. And then all of that is equal to 0. Once you're done doing that, we'll have a perfect square trinomial that is formed right here. What I mean by a perfect square trinomial is a trinomial that can be written as the square of a binomial. And you'll just see what I mean right here. So you have an a up front, and then the squares are going to go away. And you have at the parentheses 8, then the parentheses x plus b over 2a all squared. Then you're going to continue on with plus c minus half b over a all squared times a. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit and then we'll solve for x. So now we want to solve for x. So what we'll do is that we'll bring both of these guys here to the right side of the equation where 0 is at. So we'll have a times the parentheses, what's in the parentheses? A times x plus b over 2a all squared is equal to b squared over 4a minus c. After doing that, you want to divide the whole equation by a, well, both sides of the equation, and then you'll have x plus b over 2a all squared is equal to b squared over 4 squared minus c over a. After doing so, you want to square root both sides. And when doing your square root, you have to consider the plus or minus. Then you have x is equal to plus or minus square root of b squared over 4a squared minus c over a minus b over 2a. Once you're done doing that, you'll have x equals plus or minus. So what we have under the square root, you're going to combine the whole fraction. Once you combine the fraction, let's just multiply 4a here and 4a to the denominator. What you end up having is this b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Okay, so now our equation is starting to look like what is up here. But there's only like one or two things that we have left to do. So what we do have to do is that we have to get the square root of the bottom part of this fraction right here. So since we can simplify that, we'll have x equals plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And since we have a minus b over 2a here, we want to bring it up front and combine the fraction. And then you'll end up having prove that x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's it.